Good morning. Hello, everybody who could join us today. I'm so excited to have y'all. So welcome to our virtual IO open house. I'm very excited. I think we all are to share information with you guys today about our program. So my name is Brianna. I am a current first year in the program, and we do have several other students who are first years as well with us today, as well as a couple of our professors in the program. So we can go ahead and get started. So for today's discussion, we are going to meet the team. We'll talk about, or we'll have our professors introduce themselves, kind of talk about what classes they do traditionally teach. We will also hear from a alumni of our program as well as us first years. We'll talk about why choose UWF, what the great things about it are, what our program has to offer to you guys. Emma is going to talk about the culture of our program, a little bit about our climate. We'll touch on the admission requirements. Dr. Stantz will talk about financial support options as well for us. We will talk about the IO pathways and career outcomes and possibilities you could get with a master's degree in IO psychology. And lastly, we'll have a questions opportunity for you guys. If at any point y'all do have questions throughout the discussion, feel free to pop them in the chat. We can address them as we go. At the end, we will have a formal Q&A if y'all have any questions for the professors, and then we will stop the recording and the professors will leave, and there will be an informal Q&A. You guys can ask us all the details you would like. Dr. Cass?
Okay, I just had to unmute. I'm Dr. Cass. I go by Dr. Steve, and I've been with this program for just over 25 years as a faculty member. And before that, I was actually a student in this program for 2 years, got my master's degree in this program as a IO. And then I went on for a PhD in human factor psychology, which is mostly what I study. I study areas of attention, distracted driving, boredom, situational awareness. And I am always welcoming students in my lab to do research. I sometimes get some grants or some other contract work, and I'm always looking for students to help with that. I teach a number of courses in the program, including advanced organizational psychology, human factor psychology, and the training and development course that we do. And it's all of those courses are a lot of hands-on. Some of them are more theoretical than others, but there's a lot of hands-on activities, at least in two of those courses. And those are all core courses for us. I will also introduce Dr. Schneider, who is actually not here. She's on sabbatical this year, but she'll be returning in the fall, and she will probably take over my role as a coordinator. I'm doing it on an interim basis. I've been the coordinator for about 20 years, and then I stepped down, and Dr. Schneider has done it before for a year or so, and she's going to return, and she's going to do that. She's a social psychologist by training, but she studies group dynamics and organizational development, and that's actually a course that she teaches, the organizational change and development course. The advanced social psych course she teaches, which is an elective. And I believe she will be teaching the legal issues in IO course, where we teach a lot about EEO law. She's been here quite a while as well. She's been here probably, I want to say 20 years. So she knows the program very well. And she's fun to work with. So I'm sure you guys will enjoy her. Next, we have Dr. Shantz, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm Dr. Shantz. I go by Dr. Shantz. The hardest part about it is spelling it, I think. So I actually was in field before I went into academia. So I bring about 10 years of HR experience to the classroom. So when we talk about how we apply the theories that we learned in IO into the real world, that's kind of where I have the most fun. My research areas of interest are predominantly in team dynamics and looking at what kinds of things promote team cohesion and team functioning and what things hinder that. And then the courses I typically teach are going to be group dynamics. I do the graduate level research methods and graduate level statistics courses. And sometimes I fill in if we need coverage for a different class, like personnel selection and appraisal or legal issues, wherever. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone in the fall.
Thank you, Dr. Steve and Dr. Shantz. Perfect. So the most important questions I think a lot of people have are why choose our program? What's so great about UWF? A lot of things. So I actually graduated from UWF as an undergraduate. I got my psychology degree here, and I just loved it so much. I had to continue. So we do have a top ranked program in IO psychology. We are actually number 2 according to PsyOps ranking. And they rank on your applied experiences, the curriculum of your program, faculty experience, and student accomplishment. So those are the 4 criteria they rank on, and we're pretty high. Next, we do use a scientist practitioner model and approach, which you'll learn about a lot throughout the program. It's a very hands-on applied approach. So it's the combination of education and research of knowledge in practice and application. So it's really integrating science and practice together, which is really important. You're going to get a lot of applied experience in this program. We're working through a couple applied projects right now. And you're on your own. The professors are backing you up with that, but you're out there talking to these clients. You're acting in the role that you would get once you graduate from the program. So it's real world experience you're gaining without making a huge error in a real life setting, which is really, really cool. Also, the networking opportunities in our program are huge. You can build a professional network, and it's a major outcome of our program. We have a partnership with our local SHRM chapter, Greater Pensacola Society for Human Resource Management. You can attend HR roundtables with the Chamber of Pensacola Commerce. We have guest speakers come often into our classes and extracurriculars, and you can also build your LinkedIn profile with alumni of our program as well. We also have a Discord with our alumni, so you can always reach out to anybody who's gone through our program and talk to them about any questions you have or get some of their experience throughout it. We do have small class sizes and a really close cohort and very accessible to our professors, which Emma will touch on in a little bit for us. All of our classes are face-to-face except for your electives. Those will be online, which allow a little bit more flexibility. You really get to tailor your degree to what your interests are. And there is a long list of electives that have been approved for our program, so plenty to choose from. I really enjoy that the professors always tell us that there is no stupid question. Feel free to ask anything you want in class. They're not going to laugh at you. We do a lot of discussion-based classes and discussion-based learning. Our campus is beautiful. We are in the Panhandle. We are so close to the beaches. There are so many nature trails you can walk on campus when you need a clear head. I pop in my headphones and we have a really nice azalea garden right outside of the psych building. I spend a lot of time out there reading before classes. I touched on the applied projects a little bit earlier, but you do have 3 throughout the program. So real world application without the catastrophe of that. Our program, like Dr. Steve and Dr. Shantz mentioned, do take a legal issues course. So we're really learning the application of EEO law, which is really important. A lot of programs won't offer you that. And you can join our student chapter for SHRM if you want to continue to grow your network there. So a lot of really great opportunities in our program. Also, you can either choose to do a thesis route for your last semester, or you could go into an internship and really get that applied experience. So many great options. Emma?
Hi everyone, I'm Emma. I am also a first year in the program. I'll be talking about kind of like the culture and the climate of the IO program. I also graduated with my bachelor's in psychology at UWF. And I also loved it. I loved the professors, how accessible they are because of the small class sizes, and also Bree touched on the beautiful campus we have, the nature trails that I go on quite a lot, and just the great location. So those were kind of the main reasons why I decided to stay at UWF for my master's. In terms of our program, I love how supportive all the students are of each other. It's a very collaborative, culture. It's not competitive at all, like it may be in some undergraduate degrees. Also, the projects that we do, the group projects and also the applied projects are super helpful and actually enjoyable. Because I know for me in undergrad, for a lot of undergraduate projects, a lot of students don't seem to like care as much, or it's very hard to get everyone to work together as a team. And that's been such an amazing experience so far in the program. It's just everyone is very passionate about the work we do in those group projects and everyone cares. So it's been a really great experience. And I've been building a lot of like teamwork skills as well from that. In terms of the professors, they're genuinely so caring and inspiring and approachable. They definitely value more your individual learning and the actual application of the content, kind of going back to the scientist practitioner approach we take, just for our future success in the workplace. But yeah, like I said, the group projects and especially the applied projects have been super helpful for gaining leadership and professional skills, especially networking. Like Brianna mentioned, our partnership with the local Greater Pensacola SHRM chapter. I've been able to build my networking skills through that. And the applied project we're working on right now with the training and development course that Dr. Steve does, that's been really beneficial for professional skills and acting as an emerging IO consultant or practitioner. So that's been super fun and super helpful in terms of those skills. But yeah, I've loved it so far. Both the professors, the cohort, and the structure of the program itself, and how you can kind of personalize your program with the electives you choose. I am personally interested in occupational health and safety. So there's like a cluster of electives for that you can focus on. And there's many other clusters as well, depending on what specialization you're most interested in. But yeah, that's all I have to say so far about the program. It's been great. I love it.
Thanks, Emma. I do just want to mention too, like Emma has so much good things to say, but it really doesn't stop there. We have so many opportunities to present and to grow. We did a research proposal last semester, and just presenting our ideas to so many people that wanted to come and attend was awesome. I'm a first year in the program. I think I've presented something like 6 times already, whether it was in class or for a research proposal or even a case competition that we got to compete in. So there are so many opportunities to grow these skills and really hone in on who you want to be as a professional throughout our program. And like Emma said, the professors are so supportive of that.
Absolutely.
And so our admission requirements with Dr. Steve.
Yeah, I'll talk quickly about the admission requirements. If you've already applied, then you know this already, but we do require a $30 application fee that goes to the university. It doesn't go to me, unfortunately, but the university gets it and they use it. The requirement for graduate school is a 3.0 GPA at the undergraduate level to get in, but that doesn't guarantee you. Most of our students usually have substantially higher than a 3.0. It is a competitive program to get in, so the average varies a little bit, but it's probably around a 3.4 to 3.5 undergraduate GPA to get into the graduate program. So if you're 3.5 or above, you're probably in good shape if the other stuff is good as well. So we ask for a personal statement, and that personal statement, in that statement, we kind of give you 4 questions to answer, and you answer it in more of a narrative, but those questions deal with why you're in IO, why you want to get into IO psychology, what's your future career. And we ask these kinds of questions so we know that you're a good match for our program, so we don't want you coming into a program that we can't help you meet your needs. And maybe there's a different program that's better suited for you. So we want to make sure that you're a good program for us. You're a good student for us, and we're a good program for you. So we want to try to maximize the match there. And it doesn't make sense if you're a really good student, but you're looking for something that we don't offer, it wouldn't be right for us to bring you into this program where you won't get what you're looking for. So we want to make that clear, and we can do that through your personal statement. And then we also want to know about your other experiences. So things about your experience with group work. That's important because we do a lot of group work here in our program. We want to know what skills you'd like to develop so that, again, we can look at fit. Are these the skills, are skills that we teach, the skills that will help you grow into the person that you want to be? So we want to make sure that's a good fit. And we also want to see that you have the research and statistical knowledge to succeed in a program. So we want to make sure of that. We do have some requirements, and again, we'll look at your undergraduate transcripts. If you get a D in organic chemistry as an undergraduate, that's not going to disqualify you from our program, right? So we're looking at, again, your overall GPA, but we're also looking at how well you do in particular courses. So we want to see that you did well in, first of all, psychology. Even if you're not a psychology major, we hope that you've taken psychology courses, at least a couple. So we want to see how well you do in that. We want to see how well you do in research, design, research methods, those kind of courses, and statistics. And then if you've taken an IO course, that is really helpful to see if you have a great interest in it. For example, if you got a D in IO psychology as an undergrad, maybe that's not really something that you should be pursuing. Maybe you have an interest in something else. So we're looking at those kind of core courses to again, look for fit. And then we require at least 2 letters of recommendation. And while the website says that supervisor letters can work, I strongly recommend against that. I strongly recommend getting academic letters from your professors that have had you in class, particularly if you've worked in a lab. That's a great place to get a letter. If a faculty member supervised you in a lab, you can talk about your research skills, your organizational skills, your writing skills, your presentation skills. Those are all important things to us. So that's, to me, that's more important than a lot of the things that you might do on your job if your job is not IO related. So, I mean, if you worked in a factory, I think it's great that you build great widgets, but that may not be as good a predictor of how well you do in our course. So we prefer to have academic letters. If you have a supervisor letter who can really talk about your work ethic and things like that, we'll certainly look at that, but we'd also like to have some academic letters. And I think that's about it for the requirements to get into the program. We have we'll start reviewing applications. I think February 1st is about the time we start reviewing. And then this year at least, we're closing applications at June 1st. Deadlines might change in the future, but that's probably going to be similar to that. And that's all I got to say. The website is listed down below, but you can be able to find it through a search on uwf.edu rather than memorize that long link right there. And it has all the information that I just talked about. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Steve. So financial support, big question. Lots of help.
Yeah, I'll take this one. We do have lots of options for financial support. And what I'll drop in the chat line is our UWF Financial Aid Office webpage. That's a great place to start, starting with putting in your FAFSA and making sure the UWF Financial Aid Office has it. Because a lot of times something will come up, like maybe a specific funding for any applications or students within a certain need range, or I know we had one opportunity come up that was for single parents. So you want to make sure that your needs and your situation at least is on record so that we have that available as different things come up. But in general, you have lots of opportunities in terms of on-campus jobs and local jobs, like in the area. Most people know this is kind of a college area, so having flexible hours is not, a surprise to them if you're looking for a local job. And it helps you make those connections and start building your resume, especially if you can find something like a year-round internship or something HRIO adjacent. It starts you on building line items in your resume, even while you're in the master's program. We also have scholarships available. Do check out the scholarship portal in your myuwf.edu area. Now, you won't have access to that until you've actually accepted being in the program. So that's something that you would have access to once you've been offered into the program and you've accepted the offer. And we have things like merit awards and even funding through the SHRM, the National SHRM Group, which would be for your SHRM chapter members, which is a great group to join. It's the student rate is just $50 a year, and you can get involved. You can start making connections that both help you get those first internship and job opportunities, but also just building your network in terms of professionalism and building those networking skills. And then graduate assistantships. So we have graduate assistantships that are in the department, so in the psychology department, but then there's also assistantships in the college because we're under the Usha Kundu MD College of Health. And a lot of times they have assistantships come open. And then even at the university level, like just searching in their job bank for any of the student jobs, you could find a graduate assistantship available through those means. And a lot of times they come with tuition waiver and hourly pay, and also giving you an opportunity to make connections across the university and in different functional environments, which would be great for your IO HR kind of direction. So definitely check out all these options. Once you put in your application and you receive an offer, we usually send you some information via email to let you see where you can put in an application for the department GA ships, or give you ideas on where you can look. But it kind of starts the ball rolling when you actually put in your application and get the offer. And yeah, thank you, Emma. This is the what is this one?
This is the website with all the careers, and you could filter by work type. So they have like a student option for GAs and temporary options, and also locations. So that's a really good resource for finding GAs or on-campus jobs.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that's all I had for this. Does anyone have questions about financial support? All righty, then I will give it back over to Brianna.
Thank you, Dr. Shantz. I think next we have Dr. Hurley. She is an alumni of our program. If she would like to talk about different pathways that she took and also that you could take.
Hi, hopefully you all can see me. I'm very used to Teams now with my job, so Zoom, coming back to Zoom is definitely a learning curve again. But hi, yes, I am newly Dr. Hurley. I just graduated recently from Clemson University with my doctorate in IO. I graduated from UWF's master's program in 2021. And yeah, since then, I went to Clemson, got my doctorate there, and now I am a consultant for the military and government clients. My job title is exactly that. It just says consultant. It's the broadest thing, but I do mostly assessment work. So I help with validation studies that are required in order to make sure whether all of the content in a test is assessing a domain correctly, or we want to make sure a given math test actually does predict performance in the domain of interest, so criterion validity studies. So that's my current wheelhouse, is in the selections domain. But as far as different pathways to go with a degree, I would say I have, based on my experience in the UWF master's program, a lot of doors opened up for me, especially I was one of the, I think I was the only student in my cohort to do thesis track. And I really liked having the 2-track option to either do thesis or internship to get more applied experience. I chose thesis because I knew eventually my goal would be to have the doctoral degree in case I wanted to teach as well as do consulting, which I am teaching as an adjunct in the psychology program right now. And it's been great flexibility. The thesis really set me up for success in the doctoral program, and as well as the applied projects in the program too. That is just really helpful in general. I used to say the most valuable thing in the program was the course content and just what we learned in the class being so applicable to what I do on the job. But the more I'm in the applied sector and working with clients and working with people, it's definitely the experience working with groups, making sure you're meeting deadlines, adjusting what you need to do with certain people, and then also meeting your clients' expectations for the products you're delivering. And it is very rare, I'll say too, to have that experience as a graduate student in particular, working directly with clients. I haven't heard of anyone that was not at UWF that had that same experience. It comes up a lot actually in conversations I have with people. They're always amazed I have client experience coming out of graduate school. So that was just a really invaluable experience. And even in the field, when you start, you kind of get eased into the work a bit before you're actually client facing. So just having that experience out the gate and being able to work with people and adjust and have that applied experience is really just invaluable. So you get a good blend of research in the program, and then you also get the applied experience that you need to be successful in whatever role you end up in. And I know I've been rambling for a bit, but I hope that gave some insight into my experiences as alumni now and as a student in the program too.
That's very helpful. I think for our next, we're down to questions. So does anybody have any questions at all that they would like to ask any of the professors? And like they said, there is no dumb question, so feel free, ask anything.
I'm wondering when assistantships, like applications, become available for this department specifically.
Okay, typically we find out in April, around in there, how many department level assistantships we're going to be allotted. And then, but we already have the application available. Like as soon as we start sending out emails to those we offered to come into the program, then I'll send out the links, or Allen here with us is our GA for the IO program right now. And we'll get you the links to a couple of G forms, like one for Department of Psychology and a link that goes to the GA-ship G form for the College of Health. And then the others, like what Emma posted in the meeting chat line, the career search at UWF is a good way to find out what jobs are available on campus. But usually we don't make decisions on who is going to be selected to those GA-ships for the fall until like June or July. So it takes a little while before you know for sure if you've gotten a GA-ship in the department. So you do want to keep looking like locally, looking at the jobs either local or in the university, and don't, count all your eggs in one basket if that's something that is essential or important for you going to grad school. Is that what you were looking for?
Yes, thank you.
Very good.
Any other questions, or does anybody have anything to add that we've missed this morning?
I have another
Yeah, go for it.
question. It's kind of specific. I've been struggling to get in contact with like my advisor for this program. And I've been going through like a couple of different people trying to find out, and I don't, it doesn't seem like anyone can help me with it. So I'm wondering if you guys know anything about that.
Is So do you have specific questions for the advisor, or are you just trying to like figure out what classes you're going to be taking in the fall? Because I know that this is something that even in the program we get a little bit worked up about, but the classes that you're taking are going to be guaranteed for you regardless if you register today or the first day of classes. Because our classes in the program, especially the core classes, are specifically for us regardless. So you will always have a seat in those. Is there another question specifically you're trying to get in touch with her about? And you don't have to disclose it if you aren't comfortable talking about it, but I know she doesn't deal with reaching out to students until like we can't register for our classes until the end of April is where we're at for our next semester. So I don't know if that,
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just concerned because I know that I needed like an advising pin and getting registered and everything. But it wasn't showing up on my Navigate. But if we don't like do that until the end of April, then I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Madison, you don't have to worry just yet. So Miss Drehos is very good at her job doing advising, but she has a list that she goes through. So we have all the undergraduates that she advises, and then we have the graduate students that she advises. And we're still worrying about summer enrollment before we can even worry about fall. So she's got a lot on her plate, and you have plenty of time to worry about fall enrollment. So
Okay,
it'll
thank
come.
you.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'd say I was in the same boat, Madison, when I started. So I was accepted into the program in March. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get registered. I have to figure it out now because I'm a planner. And it was driving me a little crazy. I was like, I can't plan what's going on. But she will definitely get there. And I promise you will have your classes and everything will work out. Just, yeah, it
Okay,
took me a
sounds
while.
good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Those are good questions. Good questions. Well,
I was thinking about the orientation, Brianna. Like, I'd have to pull up the date again,
I think
but
it's
it's the Friday before classes start.
August 16th, I believe. I put it on my calendar last night.
Yeah, and in that, the whole cohort gets to meet each other, gets to meet the rising year twos, which is what our folks here would be at that time. And we go through a lot more slides on looking at your classes coming up, what to expect over the course of your time with the program, some more information about the internship track versus the thesis track. And so at least that orientation feels like a really good time for really getting to know your cohort, getting to know the program better, and really having a lot of answers as well. So I know it's like at the last minute, but that is a place that we get a lot of answers as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Dr. Shands. I mean, that orientation we did was extremely helpful. It really helped ease any anxieties or worries I had coming into the program. And I'm really excited to work with our current cohort. Oh, it's a tongue twister. To start planning those things once we get a little bit closer. I'm very excited to meet everybody and and really take that role of like helping everybody feel more comfortable transitioning into grad school. So it's
And
very
they
helpful.
just say that if you're worried about what classes to take in the fall, I'm pretty sure you'll be taking advanced organizational psychology, EEO law, and research methods or research design. So those will be the 3 courses, and you only take 3 courses a semester. And those will probably, I can't guarantee it right now, but I'm pretty sure those will be your courses.
About how many people are typically in a cohort, would you say? I know it probably varies per year, but just an estimate.
It does vary per year, but that's a good question. I think the smallest cohort we've ever had was probably 6 or 7, so it's usually bigger than that. But there's never been bigger than, I think 17 has been our largest cohort. So typically we're looking at 12 to 15.
Thank you very much.
That's true, Kinsey. You were in the little cohort, the little cohort that could.
That's right, and we did.
I have another question. How long does it like average person take to complete the program? Is it about 2 years usually if you're taking 3 classes per semester?
Yes, it should be. You start in the fall. Well, some people have started in the spring, but typically we start in the fall. So we go fall, spring, summer, fall, and then graduate at the end of spring. Now, if you're doing a thesis, it might take you an extra semester. It happens to some folks. Some folks still end up in the spring able to graduate. So that's typically it's 5 semesters. And I don't see there's a way to get done earlier than that because that's just, you have to take 42 credit hours. So I think it just works out to 5 semesters. And like I said, on a rare occasion, some folks will take 6 or 7 semesters, but that's usually because they didn't finish their thesis or they didn't finish their internship or something along those lines.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other questions for the professors at the moment? Because if not, we can stop the recording and kind of go informal if you guys want to ask us anything.